Hi, and welcome to another Elder Watch web series. This time, we'll be talking about financial tools you can use to protect your money and identity. And today's topic is what's a credit report? Elder Watch is a 20-plus year collaboration between AARP and the Colorado Attorney General's Office. Our mission is to protect and educate older Coloradans related to fraud and financial literacy. So, if you or someone you know has been the victim of fraud or a scam, or if after watching this presentation you run your credit report and you see something you don't recognize and you're not sure what to do next, go ahead and give us a phone call. Our phone number is 800-222-4444, select option 2. My name is Jessica Zawadsky, and I am the program specialist for Elder Watch Colorado. All right, so this is one video in a 4-part series, and the videos aren't in a specific order, so you can watch them in whatever order you want. The other things that we're talking about in this series are what is a consumer report / what is check systems. We're also talking about credit freezes and fraudulence. But today's topic is credit reports, and I love credit reports. So on that topic, first we'll talk about what does the data say about credit report usage. Then I'll tell you about what an annual credit report is. It's not really annual anymore, depending on how you acquire it. We'll then talk about how a credit report is different from a credit score, how you can access your annual credit report, and then we'll end by talking about what to do if you're concerned that there's fraud or incorrect information on your credit report. When it comes to credit report usage, we have seen an uptick in the use of this free tool, which is amazing. So in 2020, of Coloradans surveyed age 18 and up, only about 28% of people had ever ordered a free credit report. Now in 2024, about 42% of Coloradans have ordered a free credit report. So we're really happy that there has been this increase. But that still means that less than half of us here in Colorado, ages 18 and over, are utilizing this tool. So I'm hoping that we can get it closer to about 60% if we do this again in 2028. All right, so if you are not in that 42% of people using a credit report, it might be because you don't know what it is. So a credit report is a free, organized list of the information related to your credit activity. Now, it's called an annual credit report, but if you do it online, you can actually get one about once a week. If you do it via snail mail or on the phone, it might be different, but online you can get one at least usually about once a week. So credit reports may include a list of businesses that have given you credit or loans or issued you a credit card, the total amount of each loan or credit limits on each card, your repayment history, and whether you're paying on time, missed or late payments, as well as bad debts. They may also include businesses that have obtained your credit report within a certain time period, former names, addresses, employers, and other public record information. All right, so a question that I get a lot is what is the difference between a credit report and a credit score? And they kind of work together. So I think of the credit report as the data and the credit score as the interpretation. So a credit report contains all of the information tied to your identity related to lines of credit, as well as information about your repayment history and negative marks. So it's data. A credit score, on the other hand, is a prediction of how likely you are to pay a loan back on time, and it's based on the information within your credit report. So that's what I mean when I say the interpretation. Now, things they have in common is they are both determined by the 3 credit bureaus. So just like your credit score with TransUnion might be slightly different than your credit score with Experian, the things on your credit report with Equifax may be different than the things on your credit report with TransUnion. But they are determined by and collected by the 3 credit bureaus. They're also both used to help you apply for lines of credit by providing lenders with information about you. The easiest way to access your annual credit report, which again is not necessarily annual, is online. So to do that, you'll go to annualcreditreport.com. Now, you will probably have to create an account with each of the 3 credit bureaus, because you can get 3 credit reports from each bureau when you go to annualcreditreport.com. You'll also have to answer some security questions. So just be aware, it's not immediate in how quickly it happens, but once you pass all of the security questions and set up your account, you can get that report pretty much immediately after. And again, you can do that about once a week if you do it online. You can also call annualcreditreport.com at 1-877-322-8228, and they can mail you your credit report. You can also, when you call that number, request it in Braille, large print, or in audio format. It might take a little bit longer to get it that way, but you can still do it, and we love accessibility. Lastly, you can send an application to get that credit report. You can do that via snail mail, but you'll still have to go to the annualcreditreport.com website to download the form, which you will then mail in. So another step in the process, but I have listed their sender or their receiving address right there if you want to go through it snail mail wise. So the reason that credit reports are so important, at least for our work, is that they can be one of the first signs of identity theft, and it can be the move that helps you protect your identity from future scams. So when you run your annual credit report, if you find incorrect or fraudulent information, there are some things that you can do. First, you should dispute the information. If you're doing this online, it's pretty easy. There's like a button, you can dispute an individual line. Otherwise, you'll have to call each of the credit bureaus. So first, you should dispute it. If possible, you should gather documentation. So for example, if you have a credit card, they're saying you didn't pay it on time, you did pay it on time. If you can find documentation that proves that you're right, it would be a great idea to gather that. Additionally, you should contact the lender or financial institution, as well as your bank or financial institution, and that's especially important if there's something fraudulent on there. You should consider placing a credit freeze. That one is definitely more if it is fraudulent information that you've found, and credit freezes are one of the topics we're talking about in this series, so check out that video. And then the last 2 things, you should check out identitytheft.gov. Again, that's more on the fraud side. And then either way, you can give us a call here. Our phone number is 800-222-4444, select option 2. And that's a wrap for today. Again, if after this presentation you are now concerned, you found something on your credit report you don't recognize, you're worried about fraud, go ahead and give us a phone call. Our phone number is 800-222-4444, select option 2. This is one in a 4-part video series. So the other topics we're going to cover are: what is a credit freeze, what is check systems / consumer reports, and then we're also going to talk about fraud alerts. For all of us here at Elder Watch, I hope that you learned something new today. I'm glad to give you a new tool in your financial toolbox, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for joining. Bye.